Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Thank you for checking in. Let's get straight to it. Taco Bell. This is a little late to the game, I suppose, but it's still a valid deal. It's still out. There are still some requests to try it out. So that's exactly what I'm doing tonight. Taco Bell, as I'm sure you've heard, all these establishments are doing it now. I reviewed the $5 meal deal from McDonald's. I think Burger King has a special meal deal out as well. So Taco Bell said, we're going to go for it too. And they premiered earlier in the month their $7 Luxe Cravings Box. They say for the price of $7, you can get all of this. A Chalupa Supreme, a beefy 5-layer burrito, you can get a double-stacked taco, you can get chips with nacho cheese, and a drink, all for the price of $7. And I got it. Granted, this is the amusing part. The $5 box from McDonald's was a flat rate. You know, no matter where you were, it was $5. This box, on the other hand, they call it $7 Luxe Cravings Box. It was actually $9 in my case. But in the end, you're getting so many items for such a, well, they say such a fair price anyway that, you know, it's still, I suppose they constitute it as a good deal. But I just want to mention that in my case, there was that price variation. But still, there are a lot of items for what I would say is still a fair price. I just can't help but find it amusing that, you know, they call it the $7 deal. But it might not actually be $7. A lot of people say that it is, but in this case, the price may actually fluctuate somewhat. So, what do I want to do in this review? Because obviously, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of components and various items, etc. And considering that I could usually spend 20 minutes talking about one of these items, I have decided, you know, I looked through it, and I've reviewed everything in this box before. I already have. I've tried everything in depth. So as a result, if you're unsure about any of the items that are in this box, all you have to do is just check out the channel, because I have reviewed everything in here, and just consult those more detailed reviews, you know, for each thing. But what I am going to do in this one, I'm going to try out everything in the box, going to see what it tastes like. If it's any good, you know, just assess the quality, make sure that it's still a decent item, and just see, is it a good deal or not? Because you might say $7 for all of this stuff. It sounds good, of course, but you have to have quality nonetheless. Doesn't matter if it's cheap or not. You have to make sure that you're getting actual, consumable, edible food for once. So I'm just going to do a quick rundown of everything, you know, just a quick little taste test of everything in the box. Make sure that at least it tastes all right, and then give a final analysis. But I mean, so far so good. Taco Bell, granted, is one of those establishments that always is known for having, you know, inexpensive food to begin with. But they claim that it's about a 55% price discount, so we will see. Alright, let's get to it now. First and foremost, the drink. This is the size that you would get. It could be any soft drink. I went ahead, I got Pepsi this time around. Totally pleasant, you know, standard Pepsi, very sweet, of course. This is what the box looks like from the outside. Pretty standard, you know, cardboard box, so no special branding or anything. But it does come with the Taco Bell logo on the outside there. Sealed with a sticker, which I did open just to make sure, you know, that I got everything. And then opening, it's actually pretty well organized, if you ask me. You've got the chips and the nacho cheese there. You could see the burritos, the tacos, or the taco, singular, and the chalupa. Like I said, it is well organized. And what I intend to do is just try everything out real quick, you know, and like I said, just verify that the quality is alright and then give my final thoughts, you know, just a quick rundown. But like I said, so far, so good. And just take a quick look at the items, and that'll be that. I always like these sorts of deals, though. I think everyone can really appreciate them. I just want to make sure that at least there's, you know, some quality to it, of course. So, I guess we'll start out with the beefy 5-layer burrito. Now, the beefy 5-layer burrito, as seen here, what it has is beef, beans, it has cheese, sour cream, and nacho cheese in it. And I'm trying it out now. Let's see how good it is. The beefy 5-layer burrito from Taco Bell. It's going in. So when it comes down to Taco Bell, I always am a little apprehensive, admittedly, when it comes down to quality. You know, I know that there's some folks that will just praise Taco Bell for anything just because it's Taco Bell. But I try to be a little more, you know, I call out the issues as I see them. I am happy to say, and I think you'll be able to clearly see from the cross-section, that, yeah, well, there is a lot of tortilla right here. You know, you could see how this lower area, for instance, that's all just tortilla. But there still is, what's actually in there is mostly beef. And that was good to see. They call it the beefy 5-layer burrito. There have been many, many times where I've, you know, gotten this or various derivatives thereof, and it's been more filler than actual beef, you know, more refried beans and almost no beef, or more just cheese and sour cream and nothing else. So the name, at least it lives up to the name. There's a good amount of meat. The refried beans are there, but they're flavorful, you know. It doesn't seem as loaded with as much filler as usual, which is good to see. And the sour cream is always pleasant. You know, that's the one note as far as that burrito is concerned that I'm always a fan of. You know, it just helps. That sharpness of the sour cream contributes positively to it. But, no, the beefy 5-layer burrito, I mean, things are starting off good. I'm happy with it, and I think this is sort of what most people would expect of it. And there's a good amount of meat to it, good portion. So far, so good. One down. What's this one now? Let's continue here. This one I think is the chalupa. Or is my... No, I'm wrong. Okay. Okay, this is the double-stacked taco. Because I saw on the outside it said Supreme, and I was thinking, is that this must be the chalupa, but it's not. Okay, so next we have the double-stacked taco. And what constitutes this is it comes with beef, it comes with cheese, lettuce, fiesta strips, and nacho cheese as well. And of course it has the outer tortilla there with a hard shell on the inside. And you could sort of see, these are always tough to get a great view of, but you could sort of see the beef in there, the fiesta strips. I don't know how easy it is, it sort of blends in, but there is cheese in there too. So let's try that out now. The double-stacked taco from Taco Bell going in. I'll take one more bite. So far, so good. So far, so good once again. You know, the optimistic trend that I'm seeing tonight anyway, and, you know, granted, your mileage will vary, not just may, but it will vary when it comes down to Taco Bell. As you know, is that the quality can vary extraordinarily. You know, they are not known for their consistency. But this time around, the items here seem to be consistently good. And consistently well made, may I add. Another good portion, I would say, of the beef here, and I think you can clearly see that. There was a surprisingly decent amount of beef, once again. Now, yeah, I sound like a broken record, but it still needs to be emphasized because there are so many instances where with the tacos, too, you see so little meat sometimes and so much filler. This isn't the case here. You taste it in every bite. The seasoned beef, flavorful. Yeah, it's Taco Bell meat, I understand. You're not going to be setting your standards sky high or anything, but it's still fine for what it is. I always like the little textural difference in this case. You know, you have that little crunch from both the Fiesta strips, which surprisingly, this time around, actually retained their firmness. I was happy to see that. And then the interior shell as well. Very good combination, a little bit of a crunch there, and I like that too. Now granted, all of these items could do with the sauce, and the box doesn't come with any sauces on its own. I would recommend, personally, fire sauce, but as it is, it's still fine without it, but I think it would, you know, even be taken to the next level with fire sauce, but it's still good. All things considered, I'm happy with it, meets the standards. Two down. One more main item to go, and then we'll finish things off with the chips and nacho cheese. Now this must be the Chalupa Supreme, and indeed it is. Oh yeah, there's the chalupa shell. And this, what has on it, it comes with beef, tomato, lettuce, sour cream, and a 3-cheese blend. And, of course, the difference is that it has the sort of flaky, they always describe it as flaky, chalupa shell. Again, these are always tricky, no exception, you know, to, same thing with the taco. It's always tough to get a real decent look at it. But there it all is. Tomatoes in there. And I'll try it out. See what it tastes like. The Chalupa Supreme. So far, so good. And hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be good too. Let's try it out. The white balance was perfect there in that. That always happens with this angle, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm actually surprised, to be frank with all of you. I actually am surprised by the quality of not just the Chalupa Supreme, but of all the Taco Bell items. These, I say this genuinely, were far better than what I normally receive or expect from Taco Bell. Normally, I don't expect them to be this consistently good. If it were always this way, it would really be something. Because once again, the quality here of this Chalupa Supreme, as is the case with all of these items, like I said, I'm surprised. Definitely higher than what it usually is. There was a good amount of beef once again, as you could see. Good lettuce, tomato distribution, still cheesy. The Chalupa shell. It has firmness to it, but it possesses this flaky quality to it likewise. The Chalupa shell, the one thing, and this is a problem I've had before, it could be very oily. And I don't know if you really noticed, but as I was, actually there's a spot that I missed I'm looking at right now. As I was wiping my hand with the little napkin here, I did so a little more vigorously this time around because the shell is oily. It's very oily to grasp, and it gets, on my hands. Now, there have been many instances before wherein the shell has been so oily and the ingredients so lacking that it becomes quite unpleasant. In this instance, however, like I said, the proportion of ingredients, the balance thereof, was quite frankly exceptional. And the amount of sour cream on this was just right, insomuch that it sort of balanced out the oiliness that is otherwise perhaps overwhelming in the shell, and I was able to moderate things a bit. As a result, it had a pleasant, flaky but firm characteristic, and decent ingredients. Of course, you can check my other reviews that I've done for this for much more information, but I'm very happy with it. Yeah. To be honest, I didn't expect the quality of those 3 items to be as good as it ended up being. I'm pleasantly surprised, genuinely so. Nacho cheese for dipping, and chips to dip in. Try them out. Very firm, very crunchy, a little salty, as is to be expected. I'll pretend that went in. Not bad. So in the end, looking at what I received, the quality of the items was excellent. I came into this not all that optimistic. I always try to hope for the best, but I wasn't all that optimistic. But I tell you what, based on what I received, quality of all 3 items, main items, as well as the little snack here and everything, was great. And this was one of the better Taco Bell experiences I've had. The literal only problem I've had with this was the fact that the price maybe isn't $7, despite being advertised as such. However, barring that, this is excellent. I mean, it's honestly a good deal, good quality items. Way better than I thought it was going to be. So honestly, even for $9, perfectly fine, in my opinion. And it's a good deal and good quality too. I'm happy with it, pleasantly surprised by it out of 10. Therefore, 8.6 out of 10 for the $7 Luxe Cravings Box. That's all that I have for you. It's a good deal. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.